The nickname that makes a man melt is not the one that sounds the cutest. It is the one that tells him very quietly, I see who you are. To me, that is the part most people miss. A nickname is not just a cute little label. If it is used at the wrong time, or it feels copied from a list, it can sound childish. But when it comes from something real in the relationship, it becomes emotional proof. It tells him, I notice you. I notice what you give me. I notice the way you make me feel when no one else is watching. I have spent years helping people build more intimacy and handle conflict in relationships. And one thing I keep coming back to is this. Small language changes can shift the whole emotional climate between two people. Not because a word is magic by itself, but because a word can carry attention. And attention is what makes someone feel chosen. So if you want a cute nickname for your boyfriend, do not start with the cutest word. Start with the truth you want him to feel. The first one is my love. Now, I know it sounds simple, almost too simple, but that is why it works. My love is not trying too hard. It does not feel like a performance. It feels settled. It feels like you're not just flirting with him in that moment. You're placing him somewhere important in your life. Use it in the small moments. When he walks into the room and you say, hey, my love, when he calls you after a long day, and the first thing he hears is your voice softening around that word. When he is doing something ordinary, making coffee, finding your keys, driving you somewhere, and you let that name land on him like warmth, the hidden message is you're not random to me, you're mine in the affectionate sense. You have a place here, and this is where a lot of people get it wrong. They wait for romantic moments to create romantic language. But the strongest nicknames often work because they make normal moments feel romantic. That is what makes them stick. If you want help figuring out what kind of emotional language actually fits your relationship, I have a simple intimacy guide on my website. But for now, just pay attention to this first test. When you say it, does he soften, smile, or come a little closer? If yes, you found something. The second one is moonshine, not sunshine. Moonshine, sunshine is bright, sweet, obvious. Moonshine is different. Moonshine feels private. It feels like the kind of light that shows up when the day is over, when both of you are tired, when the world is quiet, and he somehow makes the room feel less heavy. This nickname is for the man who calms you without making a speech. The one who does not need to be loud to be present. The one whose presence changes your nervous system a little. Maybe he does not even realize he does that for you. That is why the name matters. When you call him Moonshine, you're not saying you're cute, you're saying you make the dark feel softer. You make ordinary nights feel less lonely. You're the kind of person I look for when my mind gets too loud. That is much deeper than a generic babe, and you do not have to explain it the first time. Sometimes the power is in letting him ask, why did you call me that? Then you can say, because you make everything feel calmer. Watch what happens to his face when he hears that. The third one is Captain. This one has a different energy. Captain is playful, but underneath the playfulness is trust. It is for the man who likes to feel that he can lead. Not in a controlling way, not in a performative alpha way, but in the quiet way of someone who takes responsibility. If he plans the route, handles the stressful phone call, thinks ahead, protects the mood, or makes you feel like you can relax because he has got it, Captain can land beautifully. The common mistake is thinking men only want to be admired for being strong. That is too shallow. Many men want to feel trusted. They want to feel that their effort is not invisible. They want to know that when they try to make life easier, you actually see it. So when you say Captain, the emotional message is, I trust your direction. I feel safe with you. I like the way you take the lead here. Say it lightly. Say it with a smile. If you make it too serious, it can become awkward. But if you say, all right, Captain, where are we going? Or good call, Captain. It gives him that little hit of respect and flirtation at the same time. Now here's the mid-video truth. The nickname is not the point. The match is the point. A nickname only works when it matches something true about him. If he is quiet and thoughtful, do not force a loud, flashy name on him because it sounded good in a video. If he is playful and chaotic, do not give him something so heavy that it makes the whole room uncomfortable. The right nickname should feel like you noticed his actual texture, not like you're trying to turn him into a fantasy version of a man. The fourth one is hot chocolate. This one is warm, sweet, and a little bit intimate. It is not as serious as my love. It is not as poetic as moonshine. It is not as respect-based as Captain. It has a softer, more physical feeling to it. Use hot chocolate for the boyfriend who feels comforting and attractive at the same time. The one who gives you that warm, safe feeling, but also still makes you want to move closer. It works because it carries two emotions at once, sweetness and desire. You can text it. You can say, good morning, hot chocolate. If your relationship has that playful tone, you can use it when he looks especially good, or when he is being gentle in a way that makes you feel melted. But here's the rule. Do not overuse the spicy ones. A nickname like this works best when it feels a little unexpected. If every message is hot chocolate, hot chocolate, hot chocolate, it loses the charge. Let it appear at the right moment like a wink. The fifth one is more personal. Call him by his gamer tag, his nickname, or the name that belongs to his world. This one may sound less romantic at first, but listen closely because it can be powerful. If your boyfriend has a gamer tag, a childhood nickname, a name his close friends use, or a version of his name that is tied to something he cares about, using it with affection can make him feel deeply recognized. Why? Because you're not just loving the polished boyfriend version of him, you're stepping into his world. You're saying, I see the part of you that existed before me. I see what you enjoy. I see the little identity you carry when you're relaxed, competitive, silly, focused, or completely yourself. And there's another layer. When you talk about him to other people, do not always reduce him to my boyfriend or him. Use his actual name sometimes. Say, David showed me this. Mark and I were talking about that. Use his name with warmth and respect. It makes him feel like a real person in your life, not just a role. In private, the name may evolve naturally. Maybe his gamer tag becomes your joke. Maybe his real name becomes softer in your voice. Maybe a tiny variation appears one night and suddenly belongs only to the two of you. Do not rush that part. Let it come from the relationship. So here's a simple way to choose. If you want him to feel chosen, use my love. If you want him to feel calming and unforgettable, use Moonshine. If you want him to feel trusted, use Captain. If you want him to feel warm and desired, use Hot Chocolate. If you want him to feel truly known, use his name, his gamer tag, or a version of him that belongs to his real life. But whatever you choose, make it sincere. A nickname is not a trick to make a man obsessed. It is a small emotional mirror. You hold it up and say, "This is what I see when I look at you." And if he smiles a little differently, pulls you closer, repeats it back to you, or starts using it himself, that is your sign. The word has become a shared moment. So tell me in the comments, which one would you actually use with your boyfriend? My love, Moonshine, Captain, Hot Chocolate, or his gamer tag. And if this helped, subscribe and take the free intimacy guide on my website before you try it tonight.